The SaaS acquisition game has changed in 2025. Let's get into it. Hi, my name is Jihad, and I've invested and operated over a dozen startups. I'm the CEO of Liberate Labs. I worked at Amazon as a technical program manager. So the reality is, what has worked 2 years ago or even last year is no longer relevant. The fact is, the game is constantly changing because as new and new channels are found out, new opportunities and platforms and technologies get created. You're not the only founder that's rushing to find and how to utilize these things the best, these resources in the best way. So what happens is it gets saturated and then the message gets diluted and people move on to the next channel, the creative way to get in front of people's eyes. This is a lifelong thing. Marketing has always existed in one way or another. And so you always have to be on top of the latest trends. And so I'll talk to you, what are the channels that are going to be the most effective in 2025 for you to acquire customers for your SaaS. So here's a few points before we jump into it. First, not all strategies fit at every stage. So you have to understand what stage of company you're in right now and what makes sense for you based on your acceptable CAC to LTV ratio. If you haven't seen a video, you can see it above. Or seeing that what is the right acquisition model for you? What are you willing to invest in? Who are your customers and what are they going to respond to the best? Ultimately, there is no one size fits all. You have to understand what will be the right thing for your customers and then being able to apply the right strategy to get to them. This is to say you need to be talking about multiple channels and contributing in a high touch and low touch kind of way to basically incorporate the entire customer journey. Especially when you talk about higher ticket sizes, you need to be able to do more touch points to ultimately convert them. What do I mean by low touch and high touch? I mean, how many times do you have to go in and actually manually intervene? If you are talking about low touch funnels, these are basically the ads. This is the content, right, strategy that you will do that many people can see without you having to recreate it. High touch is much more manual and much more resource intensive, but have higher returns if you can execute them effectively. These are like webinars or even outbound. So you need to make a balance between low touch and high touch, how much resources you have that you can balance between the two. You also have to think short-term and long-term. There are certain marketing strategies, especially I'm talking about content marketing. I'm talking about videos. I'm talking about anything else that you're creating content for. I do not want you to be in any fantasy. It takes time to basically build an audience and earn trust. And I would not look at the viral cases as being the common thing. But one of the benefits of having the long-term approaches is that it's more durable. The content and audience that you build, the community that you build is going to be a lot more able to sustain over the long term and be more reoccurring if you can solve it, right? So it has a higher barrier of entry, but if you can accomplish it, it becomes your own moat. So I want you to be aware of what is actually the best strategy to implement. It's a strategy called all-bound. All-bound is a combination of inbound and outbound marketing. The idea is that when you do inbound, people are coming into your funnel. They get to see how much content you're creating, how much value, your expertise. Can be done through webinars. It can be done through YouTube videos. It can be done through ebooks. But the idea is they're coming to you. Once you capture that information, now you can do an outbound approach. You can reach out to them, email them, message them, and basically knowing that they have some intent, they have some interest in what you're building and what information you're providing, you can qualify them and know that they're better people that you can actually sell your SaaS to. And so the goal is to do the outbound to get them even more interested, nurture them, bring them more closer to the buy decision. And you can do that through your email marketing or your social media messaging. This all-bound funnel is the best way in 2025 to make sure that you're basically getting and capturing the attention of your prospects, of your customers over the long term to ensure that when they are ready to buy or when they are ready to use a service, they are thinking about you. So what are the best channels for outbound? There are 3 channels I want you to think about: YouTube, LinkedIn, and email. YouTube is not just a video platform. It's also the search engine. is also the second largest search engine in the world right after Google. And the idea is more and more people are gravitating towards video content because there's so much saturation of articles, blogs out there. People just want to see a video that explains things easily. And so if you can create a video that addresses a lot of the pain and concerns about your customers, I guarantee you they're going to be having a lot more trust in what you are going to sell later on. The other place is LinkedIn. LinkedIn, this 2025 in January, has passed over 1 billion users. It's a massive professional network where you can leverage to get people, professionals who are actually trying to engage other professionals. And yes, there's a lot of people trying to sell to each other, but that's what a marketplace is. And this is what business ultimately is striving to do, which is provide value to each other, accomplish specific things. And so if you can target, especially if you have a B2B application or SaaS, is to find roles and people who are on LinkedIn, who are active and actually experiencing the pain that you're selling to. If you can solve their problems in a 10x kind of way, I guarantee you they would be interested in not only seeing your content on LinkedIn, but also you reaching out to them and providing that value. And so finally, I want to talk about email. So we all get a bunch of email. I get it. We're all getting a bunch of different offers and things that are filling up our inboxes. But we wouldn't be talking about it if it wasn't still effective in 2025. The fact is, there's better tools out there to ultimately get your emails into people's inboxes, tools like Instantly and Clay for lead enrichment. But the idea is that ultimately, the way you differentiate from the noise is being very targeted. If you can understand your customers and you're solving their problems, then you're doing them a huge favor by getting in front of their inbox. If they are actually looking for solutions, you popping up on their inbox at the right time, at the right place, with the right wording, means that you have something that will potentially get them into a book meeting with you. So do not underestimate email outbound. So that's basically the 3 channels in a nutshell. I want to get a little bit deeper. What are the actual things you can do in each of these channels? Let's get into it. So there's 2 main ways that you can get your YouTube channel going. All right. So one of the biggest things is that, before I get into it, is do not overthink it. 90% of people that have thought to create a YouTube channel, or even probably 99%, have not done anything related to it. And the fact is, creating videos is difficult. It's hard to get in front of a camera and talk about things. It takes a lot of effort, but that's exactly why you would be differentiated. No AI persona is going to be able to replace having an authentic and clear and valuable conversation like the way we're having right now. And so the idea is that when you create a YouTube video, you're already ahead of 99% of people who have not done it at all. And again, YouTube is so underutilized, and it's always going to have some barrier of entry is people don't want to spend the effort to get in front of a camera and talk about things. So as long as you're providing value, then in that situation, you are already doing something unique and earning trust in ways that your competitors are not doing. So keep your production simple. Don't overcomplicate it. There's tons of videos out there that I can link in the description about how to set up a very simple setup so that you can just clearly talk about things. But the most important thing is consistency and quality. Don't put crap out there. At the end of the day, like, the goal is not to just put AI generated mess out there because the world is already filled with it. The idea is that I want you to build your unique perspective, your unique value authentically, so that it actually resonates and connects with the people that you're trying to reach. And the idea is you have to do it consistently. At the end of the day, the algorithm is only going to really put you out there is if you are someone who's consistently producing quality. So the second way you can start your YouTube channel is to create like a high level conceptual framework, right? You have something, a problem that you're trying to solve, a topic you're trying to cover. Keep it broad to be able to capture a bunch of people into this loop. And the idea is that if you can provide value and get data, you can always niche down in your content. But the idea is you need the data first. And so by keeping things simple and high level, you can just start getting going immediately. Do your research and create something of value and start marketing it by your distribution channels. This content serves then as a reinforcement mechanism. We talked about it in just your inbound marketing, getting views in your YouTube channel. So not only does a YouTube channel benefit your inbound, basically by creating content and your algorithm putting the YouTube channel or video in front of audience, but it also is a huge sales secret. Because what happens is when someone is making a buy decision, if they're in your sales funnel, you could spend hours and hours and hours trying to convince them of your expertise, or they can just go to your YouTube channel. And when they see your expertise in a bunch of YouTube videos that they will get value from, then you have effectively sold yourself through your channel. So it becomes a force multiplier through your sales funnel as well. So do not underestimate your YouTube channel. Let's talk about your LinkedIn profile. So very similarly, this acts like a living resume, a more in-depth resume than any one piece of paper could ever provide. This is you creating content, you presenting yourself in a professional way that resonates with the people that you're selling to, and ultimately becomes a way to capture demand and also even generate it. First, optimize your LinkedIn profile. If you're interested in a video about that, I can show you how I optimized my profile. Secondly, post valuable content about your pain points, the pain points that your customer is experiencing, your ideal customer profile. A lot of carousels and short form videos do very well. There's a bunch of tools now that make that super easy. Canva for creating carousels, and there's other AI tools that I'll link in the description to create short-term videos automatically. And then finally, engage your audience. Comment, like, connect, and just continuously do the outbound. I was watching a video recently and it really struck out to me because it kind of basically communicated a story, which was that the individual was doing outbound maybe 20 times a day, and he felt that he was putting in so much effort, right? But then after doing it, he's not getting any results. So he met a sales expert, someone who's killing it. And he asked, like, I did 20 outbound a day. Why am I not getting any results? And the guy said, you are crazy. I do 20,000 outbound a day. So this is to put into some context. Ultimately, sometimes you may be thinking that you're not actually doing the right thing, but it could be you're not doing the thing hard enough. You're not getting enough value in, you're not getting enough reps, you're not getting enough data points to actually validate. Obviously, when you want to say the data is conclusive, you need what's called a significant sample set. You need to be able to do this enough times to be able to actually validate, is your approach working or not? And then you experiment on top of that. Now you're doing the volume and the experimentation with enough effort, you can absolutely get to a point of getting fine-tuned of what's working and not working. But ultimately, simply 90% of founders never get those reps in. So make sure when you're doing your LinkedIn outreach that you're putting in enough reps. Finally, let's talk about your cold outreach. This can happen through your email. This can happen through your LinkedIn outbound, as I just mentioned. But what you need to do is you first need to build a lead list. And the way you build a lead list is you can use LinkedIn Sales Navigator, or you can use a tool like Clay, which enriches leads, which lets you basically grab people out of LinkedIn based on certain filters. You can also upload a list into it, and then it will enrich those leads by finding the emails, the other information about their job, their role, their company, and it'll have even AI agents that can go into their websites and profiles and scrape the necessary information. The idea is that once you've grabbed that information, you can start thinking a little bit more deeply about if they are the right leads. So there's a difference between a qualified lead or a warm lead versus an unqualified lead or a cold. The idea is that if you can validate more and more about what is their actual desires, their intent, how likely are they willing to buy from you, those are the people you want to spend your most time with. If you apply the same approach to everyone, chances are you're spending a bunch of time wasting it on people who are never going to buy from you in the first place. So the idea is that if you can qualify upfront, if you can identify who is the most likely to buy from you early on, you are using your time more effectively and ultimately getting better results. So after you build your lead list, what do you do? Well, you can upload these lead lists into a bunch of different tools like Instantly for email outbound or HeyReach for your LinkedIn outreach automation, okay? And the idea is with this additional context, you're sending them messages, and the idea is forget about all the salesy stuff. just produce value. You need to, at this day and age in 2025, figure out how to produce and create as much value as possible, because that's the only thing you cannot fake, or at least other people cannot fake. Value is value. And at the end of the day, the one person that can produce the most value for a very specific need is going to be able to win the market. And you want to do that in every stage. And if you can earn the trust, you can always sell later on. But ultimately, provide value, provide a lead magnet or a value forward offer in your outreach to get the best responses. And at least, provide a way for them to then go down and do a discovery call with you to get later into the sales funnel. So that's basically it. If you can focus on these 3 channels on an inbound and outbound motion, so that means that on your YouTube channel, on your LinkedIn, and through the email, you can definitely create a loop of acquisition that can get all the major touch points without having to overinvest in a single one. And the idea is if you keep them in a loop, you can get them into your funnel using your content in your LinkedIn and your YouTube. You can retarget them using your emails, and basically ultimately continue providing value, understanding, having conversations, getting data points, and refining your offer continuously. This is not gonna solve everything overnight. This is a long journey. On average, it takes 3 to 5 years for a SaaS business to get profitable. And so I'm not here to sell you on any magical pill, but the idea is that if you can do the right things and provide enough value over a long enough period of time, you will hit gold. But the idea is most people don't stick around with it. So I want you to implement these strategies today and start moving towards building out the infrastructure to implement the all-bound motion. If you want me to go any deeper in any of these tools, then hit me up or drop a comment and we can talk about it more. So this is the omni-channel approach. This is how to basically effectively and minimally implement the all-bound motion so that you can get people in your channel using your content on your LinkedIn and your YouTube, and then implementing an outbound motion with your email and your LinkedIn as well. So the idea is that you are continuously nurturing these leads and implementing in 2025 what is the minimal way to differentiate with the other competitors that you have and other people, and ultimately get customers so you can grow your SaaS. So look out for the next video. If you want me to get deeper into any of these tools or concepts, then I'm happy to do it. Let me know. Bye.
If you don't want to miss the next videos, make sure you subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so you get notified of future uploads.